What I'm about to share with you may not make a lot of sense if you are a woman, you are over 40, 50, 60, 70, and you are going through a challenging patch. You feel stuck. You don't see a bright future. If you are in that situation, just stay with me, because I want to remind you that every day you live, you are being given pieces of yourself that you are going to need in the future as you expand, you grow and prosper. Just stay with me. I'm Linda. I'm a lawyer. I'm a former teacher. I'm a coach. I have started writing books, and I worked very, very closely with Nelson Mandela, and there is a lot that I learned from him. Please remember to like this video and subscribe so that we continue to have this type of conversation. It's just a reminder. And another thing, I do look forward to receiving comments from you and receiving notification of where you are watching from. Just stay with me. Now, I am saying every day of your life, you are receiving pieces of yourself that you will need in your future self. That is the transformed self. That is when you are going to be having a new identity. What do I mean by that? It is common knowledge that all of us want to be wealthy. We want freedom. We want financial freedom, that is money for that matter. But what I learned, and I am sure that as I continue in this conversation, something is going to open your eyes when I say the situation that has brought you to where you are right now is preparation for something big, for something exciting and joyful and transformative. It is preparation. Why do I say that? I say that because during my very challenging times, I then learned that wealth was just not something that is material. That wealth meant relationships that are healthy. That wealth meant quality time for myself and for the people I care about. I also learned that wealth meant that I needed to revise my values, because what made a lot of sense, what I valued 20 years ago, was no longer serving me. So I became wealthy in a manner that is not material. When I made a breakthrough, and then I started relaxing and looking at life differently. So, time, for instance, if I say wealth is time, I began to cherish how I spent my time first thing in the morning, being quiet and making sure that I prepare and anchor myself so that I am not whisked away by the turbulent days, that I don't listen to the noises that are worrisome and very, very fearful. So the quiet mornings that I started spending meditating, I will always treasure. And that has become a morning routine. It is inherent in me just to be quiet and welcome the day and be grateful for the day that I see, not with my naked eyes. I just feel it welcoming me, and I dedicate and commit myself to that. So I learned to spend quality time, and I also learned to protect my time from those who would want to abuse my time and making unreasonable demands. Relationships, I became very particular about relationships. I learned that it was not serving me just to be giving and not saying no, not staying away from toxic relationships, unnecessary, this gossip and fear mongering. I learned to stay away from that. I became wealthy. And as I indicated, stay with me on this one. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison, in a small cell. I learned that when he was in prison, we are also in the world prison of some sort. There were lessons that he learned. There were lessons of freedom, of having the option to give in to despair. However, he chose. He chose to be optimistic. He chose to envision, to look forward to a free South Africa. All I'm saying is, you too, you have the option of making choices. You have the option of envisioning a new you, where you would be spending time with your loved ones, having flexibility to work wherever you want, having the freedom to be with friends, to travel, and just walk in refreshing nature early in the morning to celebrate a new day. That's freedom. Not having to be answerable to be demands of society, because society does make unreasonable demands on us. So I learned, and I learned to accept these daily gifts. By the way, not all of them were joyful. There were times when I felt as if life was slapping me to wake up and realize that I was being prepared. I was being prepared for this state that I was hungry for, thinking that it is outside. And then gradually I learned that it's not outside. I began to feel different. There was something major actually that happened in my life, and I was surprised that I accepted that incident in a manner that made me wonder but I didn't lose my cool. I didn't feel hurt. I was just myself. And the penny dropped that I was growing. That betrayal would have rattled me. However, the attitude I adopted was, it is what it is. Human nature is what it is. So I encourage you to come with me on this journey of being prepared on a daily basis to receive these gifts. They are not tangible gifts. They are intangible gifts. They are invisible. However, as we open and as you open up on a daily basis and being ready for something beautiful, something new, something transformative, I can guarantee you the next sharing that I am going to be sharing with you is going to be an eye-opener, because the preparation that I have just shared with me, it worked like magic. Yes, I wanted to make money, but I then started relaxing. I did not become anxious and worried about what was going to happen. Where was this money going to be coming from? And lo and behold, opportunities presented themselves. The money came. It didn't just drop from the sky, it came through ideas. It came through people. And the strategies, one thing led to another. I started drafting courses for my students, and just that expression and sharing meant a lot to me, because I was celebrating the daily lessons that I started sharing with my students, particularly the women, the over 40 women, the over 50 women who sorely needed to shift their identity into a new identity of confidence, of joy, of celebrating, of freedom, just freedom. So I'm glad I'm sharing this video, because you are going to notice that I decided just to talk about money last, because the biggest lesson was that money is incidental, that money will not come your way, it will not come my way if I am not prepared, I'm not ready to receive it. So I went through this process that taught me patience, to allow, to be effortless. And I was not even aware of the changes that were happening. And the money started flowing in increased quantities from various sources. And I guarantee it's going to happen to you. And that is why this video is important. From me to you, if you are a woman over 40, a woman over 50, whether you are in the US, in the UK, in Saudi Arabia, in Iran, in Germany, confidence, patience, wealth, and freedom is guaranteed. Your new identity is just going to attract money. It's going to attract prosperity. It is going to attract the beauty and the joy you deserve. Do remember to subscribe and to like this button, and do share and comment. I look forward to your comment. I look forward to being with you in the next video. Cheers.